You guys, oh my god, watch this. I'm so cute.
For this tutorial, we'll be needing 15 yards of tulle fabric and 1 yard of satin fabric. You will also need a pattern paper for you to make the yoke of the dress, the upper dress. So we are making this dress for a 7-year-old child, and these are the measurements: chest 25. Okay, you can just screen munch it and get the measurement. So first, this I have here is my armhole line, and this is the waistline, the same as the half length. So with that, I'm going to get the neck width and the neck depth. The back neck depth is 0.75 and the front neck depth is 3.5. So I'm going to mark this here and connect it. You make the neck curve like this, and this is the back neck curve. Next is the shoulder. The shoulder I'm working with is 5 inches, so I'm going to mark it there. The shoulder is 10 inches divided by 2 is 5 inches, so I'm going to drop it down on the armhole line and connect it like so. Then I'm going to drop down 0.75 for the shoulder sloping and connect this line to the neck line. Next is the bust measurement. Round the bust measurement divided by 4, and I'll add 0.25 easing allowance to that. I'll mark this here and drop it on the waistline. Then I connect this line like so. Next is to shape the armhole curve. So I'm going to divide this line by 2, and that will give me my guide. This is where I'm going to make for the curve. So I'm going to make the curve for the back first using those guidelines. And then I'm going to make the front using this line that I have marked here. I'm going to come in by 0.5 and connect it like so, and this is going to be my front armhole line. So next is for me to get the yoke, because this dress has a yoke, an illusion neckline. So I'm going to mark it here 6 inches from the shoulder line. So this yoke is going to be with the mesh fabric, and the lower part will be with the satin fabric. So I'll cut this out, and I'm going to cut it out on the fabric later. Let's go on to the underlay, like the lining for the tutu skirt. So I folded my fabric in with one piece. I folded it in triangular form like this, and then I'm going to get the radius, the waist divided by 3.14 times 2. Whatever you get is going to be the neck, the waist circumference. And then you get the length of skirt. The length of skirt for the underline, you make it 2 inches shorter than the normal skirt length. So I'm going to cut this out and prepare it for the tutu skirt. So with the pattern paper, I'm going to cut the front on fold, and I use the same satin for my lining, so I'm going to cut out 2. On the waistline, I am going to drop 1 inch for easing and 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Then 1 inch sewing allowance on the side seam and 1/2 inch for the armhole curve. So with this is how it looks after adding the 1 inch. I'm going to cut double of this, both the lining and the main fabric. So I also go and cut out the back. For the back, I'm just going to cut out 1 inch sewing allowance, side seam, 1/2 inch on the armhole, 1/2 inch on the zip side, and also 1/2 inch on the waistline. I'm not going to add any inches on the waistline for the back. As you can see, I have used the same fabric to cut both the main fabric and the lining fabric, but you can go ahead and use lining fabric for this. So let's go over to the yoke. I've already cut out the back. This is for the front. I'm going to add 1/2 inch sewing allowance all over, except for the neckline. I'm not going to add any sewing allowance. So I'm going to use 1 yard of tulle net to cut out for the first layer. You know, it has 2 layers. I'm going to cut this out 7 inches, and then I'm going to cut another 8 yards of tulle. This is going to be 15 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do the sewing tutorial. Make sure you watch the next video so that you know how I made this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss the sewing tutorial. This is the part 1. So the sewing tutorial is coming up next. As you can see, I'm already recording this. So see you on my next video. Bye bye.
She's cute, she's nice, she's pretty.